looks like we are now live. How's everyone doing today?
We are live.
If y'all can do me a favor, go ahead and let me know in the live chat that we are nice and audible and nice and got crispy audio. Want to make sure that we're all nice and audible as well. Again, want to make sure, and also the lag
Are
too.
we crispy?
Are we crispy? Are we crispy right now? Let us know how we're doing right now. We got about, let's see, 10-ish viewers right now. If you guys can do me a favor, go ahead and give us a like on this live stream. Slap that like button if you can for us. Let us know that you guys want us to continue dropping all this amazing content. We're going to get started in like 4 more minutes. At 4:05, we'll go ahead and officially begin the stream. It's going to be a little bit different platform than what we're used to. It's not going to be necessarily a Q&A live stream. Going to be more along the lines of kind of like a podcast. We're going to have some talking points between Boaz and I. And feel free to go ahead and get engaged as well. Let's see. Hail Outdoors, good audio. Good. All right, sweet. Looks like we are nice and loud and clear.
Okay, all right. The catchy title is working. People are already replying or answering the...
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Someone earlier, what was his name?
Gigs. Hey, what's up, bro? Good to see you.
Experimental DNA. I don't know why that name's funny. Experimental DNA already put his response in.
Actually, I'll be right back. I'm going to grab my water bottle.
Go for it. Yeah, what's going on, guys? Let's see what we got in the chat so far. Let's see who's first this time around. Milson Marksman, good to see you again, man. James Chalikas, Jed Rippy, what's happening, dude? Experimental DNA, mentioned you already. Good to have you as well. Fortnite Games, Hail Outdoors, Gigs, what's happening, dude? iPhone, hello iPhone, how are you doing? Gregory Carpenter, Rilo, Alex DeCierto, Virgil Hill, saying audio sucks. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Can hear you. Everyone says everyone else is good, though. All right, cool. Crispy like bacon.
It's probably the internet connection on your end, because live streaming goes both ways.
True. GBA and HPA is not at fault. Field issue with the people that manage it. Yeah, we'll be getting right on into all these opinions.
We're talking about that real soon.
With my Pulsar S by Gate. I've been hearing a lot of mixed things about the Pulsar by Gate, but it's good to see that it's not all hate, that again there is some good coming from it. We're probably going to be doing a little bit more of a deep dive into that later on at some point this year. Bernie Gamble, what's happening, dude? What's happening? Yeah, we got like 2 more minutes and we'll officially begin this live podcast, live cast. We'll call it podcast.
It's a live stream with a discussion topic. We're just gonna see how that does, how you guys like it, because I will say, like, it would be good to interact with you guys while we discuss a topic. I think with the podcast, I don't want to say you're forced to, but just due to the format, you kind of have to sit and just listen to us, but maybe a format where you guys can interact with us as we discuss it. I think it might be interesting.
Virgil Hill was asking, Boaz, did you see his Ronin T10? He posted a picture of his Ronin. I think he said you were one of the reasons why he got the Ronin, just K-Dub in general, right? He posted a picture and he was like, hopefully Boaz sees this. It was actually pretty tasteful.
Another convert to the KWA side of things. Well, you know what? Hey, bro, if you sent it to me if you sent it or posted it via Discord, just because of the volume of stuff that gets posted on Discord, I generally won't have time to see it, just because I will monitor it throughout the day if I can, but I'm kind of tunneled into editing content and stuff, or filming, so I'm not usually at my desk very often, and if I am, then I'm tunneled into editing. So if you want to send that to me again, you can send me a DM via Discord, and I'll definitely take a look at it, because I do love to see my favorite KWA guns dressed up, nice and dressed up.
Yeah, whenever I have a spare moment, I do like going through our Discord, specifically obviously the Roast My Build submissions, and also the Tactical Gearhead submissions.
What's the background music? They're saying it's kind of loud.
Background music kind of loud? Oh, we can just go ahead and lower that right there. All right. Desktop audio, just go ahead and bring that sucker down.
Yeah, all right.
There we go.
Let us know how that is.
And go back to this one.
Yes.
It's always laggy when we have it on the... There we go. But yeah, I like going through those chats because people actually like to go ahead and add us a lot on, especially loadout fan submissions, because they really like to see our opinions, especially with me too, because I love seeing whole people's kits. It's really cool to see some of these unique pieces of gear that people put together.
Yeah, and then Ian Burns, about your Zion Nebula MOSFET not working. If you did send a DM to airsoftgi.com spelled out, obviously, that's our official Instagram, so hopefully you send it to the right place. If you just want to, on your end, if you haven't already, please make sure to DM us your order number, as well as some of your customer information, like your email address and stuff like that you use to create the order. It's going to help out the customer service process. Usually, I believe we're pretty caught up now.
We should be
Yeah.
caught up. However, again, we are a small company. At the end of the day, we do try our best to go ahead and get to everyone's DMs as soon as possible. Honestly, if you still haven't received a response yet, just be patient. We should be getting to yours sooner or later. It is going to happen because we make sure that we go through all of our DMs on every single one. It just sometimes can take a little longer depending on how busy we are, but we are going to go ahead and make sure that we answer everyone's DMs.
Yeah, but that's like for you guys listening, if you guys have any trouble with your orders or things that you purchase from us, and if you decide to send us a DM, email, or whatnot, just to speed up the process, we really need your information, like the order number for your order and some of your customer information, like the email address that you said or you used to make the order. Stuff like that really helps our team out and helping you basically. So I'm just asking to help us help you.
There you go. Anyway, all right, we want to go and officially begin. It's now 4:06. Welcome, guys, to this special edition of this sort of, storefront live stream. Different format, kind of. Normally we do a Q&A session. However, this is going to be more of kind of like a mixture between a podcast and a live stream with a lot of talking points, which you guys are more than welcome to be involved in. However, I did want to go on and let you guys know that we are running some promotions during this special live stream. It's a very short stream. We're only going to be running it till 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. However, every $50 you spend per order, you'll be receiving 5 entries into the shopping spree giveaway. Again, think multiples of 50, you're getting 5 per, and you can literally spend that towards anything, literally anything, whether that be mystery boxes, whether that be items themselves. It doesn't matter. Make sure to go on and place your orders now while you can, because the shopping spree giveaway is tonight. It's $3,600, and all you got to do is make sure you place your orders before 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
That's a really stacked prize pool.
Yes, it is.
I have not heard that figure, the figure for the shopping spree giveaway that high, like in a long time.
Yeah, I think the biggest one that comes to mind was probably Brewer's prize pot. His was at $4,150 specifically.
Yeah. Hey, and yeah, all it takes, I think, just to enter into the shopping spree giveaway is just an order of $20.
Yeah, that's
or more,
literally it.
Before shipping and taxes. Just to keep that clear, like if your order comes up to $20 after tax, after shipping, that will not qualify. But yeah, I mean, with the pre-orders, I think doing that is like probably an easy way to really bump up your odds. But yeah, $3,600. I mean, imagine. I kind of measure prices of airsoft gear or airsoft goods in general, just like
based on KDBWs can I buy?
No, not KDBWs, because my first airsoft gun that I bought was a G&G Combat machine.
Oh.
But back in the day, it costs more now, but it costs $150. So
right.
I'm like, damn, $3,600. That's how many combat machines is that? I'm just gonna look it up right now, because
you know what's funny, guys? Apparently, guys in the real steel world will say, "How many Glocks is that?"
Yes, exactly. Okay, so dude, that's 24 G&G combat machines pre-inflation price hike. I believe now it's like $180, but $150 that's like a lower end or entry level like Specna Arms equivalent.
Even some Specnas that
yeah, Specna Core or like a Lancer Gen 2, but yeah, it will give you 24 of those. Imagine what you could do with 24 entry-level Specnas or Lancer Gen 2s.
Dude, he's trying to supply a whole army right now. He's trying to get a whole army with him. But yeah, guys, no matter what it is that you end up picking up, I personally, if I had to give my recommendations, 100% would end up being for the 2024 Platinum Mystery Box. That's got to be the go-to item right now if you want to go and increase your odds, right? That'll be getting you 15 chances of winning the shopping spree giveaway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just so you're already going to get a mystery box filled with a ton of goodies. So, like, maybe the double whammy is, like, you win, like, one of the really good prizes in the mystery box.
Exactly.
Plus, now you get 15 entries into the shopping. Imagine you win that too.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. It's a stacked
might
way to win.
Run us out of business.
Because here's the thing. Even the lowest costing prize that you can win in the Platinum Mystery Box is already going to be more expensive than the box itself. The lowest costing prize, one of the Klitschko USA, it's $199. The box is $180.
Damn.
Yes.
Okay,
so you're already getting a come up no matter what it is that you get. And again, like Boas said, imagine you could end up winning something dope, like if this pop-up ad would go away. There we go. Like the Wolverine MTW 14.5
HPA.
HPA.
Part of our discussion.
Part of our discussion. Very on brand. Very on topic today. Or the Arcturus SP1 carbine.
Wait. What are these prizes here?
Hey, take a look.
Yeah. Okay. The PP19 carbine, like hot seller. Oh, it has one. Oh, dude, it went up in price too. Damn.
Yes,
okay.
it did.
Yeah. I mean, understandable. Oh shoot, we get the 416A5 by VFC, the good one.
Hey, I like the competition one. The competition one's on here too.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying it's like it's bad.
I know you just
yeah.
like your full metal.
Yeah, of course, and VFC, yeah. But dude, you get the Arcturus AK-12K.
The shorty.
Oh, the shorty. Oh shoot. All right, cool. Yeah, you get the PW9 carbine one. Oh, I like that a lot actually. Yeah, the longer actual pistol caliber carbine I think looks nice. Dude,
That's that one.
yeah,
This is the one that
R15,
gets me.
yeah.
The MGC4 on there.
Interesting. Yeah,
For $180?
Yeah, I mean, hey, yeah, for MGC4 Mark II. I mean, it's not just us that reviewed it. You know, like we have other YouTubers who have reviewed it, actually field tested it. I mean, they all seem to love it, especially at the price point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tokyo Marui's on here.
Yeah, Cisco was questioning my inclusion of that, but I was like, I just want something different on there. You know?
Yeah. That definitely. You do not see the Scorpion Mod M.
No,
very
you
often on the
don't.
field.
I want to.
It is definitely an interesting looking gun, yeah, but it's by Tokyo Marine nonetheless. Yeah, dude, and you get E&L. I love E&L.
And I did make sure to put the Arcturuses on there, the new Cat series, the Versatiles.
Yes, the Versatiles. Yeah, you can have this gun run an AK mag.
Which, by the way,
carbine
guys, just a side note, I want to go into because we're talking about the Versatile a little bit. The interchangeable magwells, the individual magwells, will be going live on the site within the next few days. I believe potentially,
freaking finally.
maybe even tomorrow, you might be seeing them live on the site. So stay tuned for that.
And we get the Diamondback. Oh, the not the Honey Badger.
The not Honey Badger.
Oh yes. Very nice. Bow manufacturer, for if you ever watch this, please make a full metal version of this so I can buy it. Because right now it's hard for me to justify buying this when I have the Eve 9.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. It's, so
I do prefer the KDB and Jonas, but honestly, the bow manufacturer stuff, the Diamondbacks, they're not bad.
No. They shoot fantastic out of the box, and they give you the maple leaf barrel and bucking out of the box.
That's pretty hot.
It's pretty hot. Like, not gonna lie, you don't really have to do anything internally to get that gun to shoot well. Like, it shoots really well. Watch a review on it, by the way.
Absolutely.
I worked very hard on that.
Yes, he did. It's actually a very good review.
Yeah, and then I mean, even the Kalashnikov AKs, honestly, these are pretty solid AKs. Not gonna lie.
These are probably my go-to AKs
Dude,
now.
This is a pretty good box. Not gonna lie, because you're not gonna get no stupid basic M4 in this. Like, you're actually gonna get a nice or at least a more interesting varied up gun out of the box.
This is what I've been saying. I picked all these prizes,
dude.
man.
Dude, it's a good price. But you did a good job.
Thank you. But we go ahead and we'll leave that there for now. But why don't we go ahead and get on into the topic right now? Again, guys, feel free to go ahead and be engaged in this discussion as well. Every once in a while, we'll take a break, see what you guys have to say about it as well. Might be able to go and answer maybe a few questions. So again, the main concentration is going to be obviously the topic at hand, and of course, seeing what you guys have to say about this as well. Now, I've already been seeing some guys putting in their opinions. They read the title of the live stream itself. But before we go ahead and do that, do you want to go and answer maybe one or two questions on here?
Yeah. Let's get back to the face cam mode first.
Yeah. There you go. Let's go there. There you go. All right, cool.
All right. Okay, so let's see here. GBVR Master Race, correct. Correct. Let's see. I mean, we have a ton of people here that love HPAs. I mean, very understandable. Oh, okay. Angel Fuentes says, question, Boaz, what mid-tier gun on the list? Wait, on that list that I would want.
The mystery box, yeah.
I would say, well, mid-tier's always been tough. I think in Airsoft, just because the price range is very nebulous. It's very hard to kind of clock in. For me personally, in today's economy, in the value of today's dollar value, I'd say I would clock in a mid-tier gun anywhere from maybe 275 to the lower 300 area. That I would say would be your mid-tier, and then anything from 350 up would be a high end. That's just the way I see things.
I get it. But Cisco and I came to the agreement that 150 to 250, that's mid-tier. 250 or beginner tier. 250 to 350, or even arguably $400. That's mid-tier.
Yeah, honestly, on this box, man, on this mystery box, the thing on the list here, for me, the obvious answer is gonna be well, if you want an M4, is either you get the Zion Arms R15 or the Mayo Gang MGC4.
That's what I'm saying.
It is definitely on the higher end of the mid tier, but it will carry you well into the high tier. So if you want a gun that you're just gonna keep for a long time, and you want that gun to keep running and shoot, or sometimes even outshoot some of these higher end guns, those two guns will for sure do it for you. And especially if you decide to throw in, let's say, a unicorn inner barrel on hop-up bucking.
Game changer.
Game changing, yeah. If you want an AK, honestly, go with the EL. you know for sure they made like they're individually quality checked, which is crazy. Yeah, they give you a certificate of quality, so you know it's gonna be reliable. It's gonna shoot well out of the box. And I'd say with the version 3 gearbox, the honest truth is version 3 gearbox or version 3 hop up unit and everything, for some reason it just outshoots an M4. I don't
Always.
know why.
It always
I don't know
does.
why. It's a thing, yeah. But if you're on the lower end, I'd say any of the Arcturus NY series, like the polymer series of guns, no problem at all. They shoot phenomenally out of the box too.
No, absolutely. Oh,
And
let's
then
see, maybe
Daphne
one
will
more.
ask, Boaz, what is your favorite GBBR? Obvious answer is going to be Tokyo Marui MWS. Why? Because I bought one. Cost me an arm and a leg. I had to save up for like almost 6 months. I'd
Yeah, I
say.
remember this.
Yeah. You know, aside from like the bills and cost of living, you know, I would set aside just a little bit of money in the piggy bank, a little bit responsibly saving to get the Tokyo Marui MWS. Actually, hold on, is it still on sale? Is the MWS? Because if you
Yes, I believe it might actually.
yeah, dude, wait, hold on.
Let's double check.
I remember this morning we were talking about this. MWS. All right, I'm gonna have to share the screen real quick if it is on sale. Let's see here. Loading up with the. No way.
Yes.
No
Here, let's move this out of the way. Let's move this out of the way.
No freaking
I'm
way.
just saying, guys. I'm just saying right now. If you were to go ahead and say maybe pick yourself up a Tokyo Marui MWS right now, it is on a shocker deal for only the next 7 hours. Normally $620. It's on sale for $558. And remember, the promo is right. It's going on right now. It is going on right now. So every
You would get so
That's a
much. You
lot.
get so many freaking tickets to win the shopping spree giveaway, dude. Tokyo Marui, by the way, if you know, like on our site or most retailers in general, never get discounted. Like why?
Ever.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's yeah. I bought this thing full price, by the way.
did.
I bought this at the $600 mark. So anyway, that's one of my favorites. You know, because of Tokyo Marui, it is gonna, you know, the industry is gonna naturally want to standardize around that. I actually have. Let me know in the chat, because I recorded this like very long lecture, like a schizophrenic rant about why gas blowback rifles are going to be the future, and like I talk about the MWS a lot actually. It is definitely one of my favorites up there. If not that, then recently, if you haven't checked out our G&G gas blowback, I said MGCR, that thing is also game changing, like scary good out of the box, scary good.
to the point where it makes him almost regret getting the MWS.
Oh no, I regret it, but I mean, if I had the option of getting both, I'd get both.
Well, why not? But anyway, let's get right on into now the discussion at hand. You guys saw the title of the live stream itself. Is HPA ruining Airsoft?
Oh man,
Okay, well, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
that's a very charged question.
It is a very charged question. Okay, well, we can be honest, though. We can be honest about what our opinions are. I think, for me, I'm going to say yes, but not in the way that you're thinking. Not purely out of existence does it automatically ruin or tarnish Airsoft in and of itself. I will say that there does have to be some acknowledgement of sort of the dark representation that HPA has gotten over the last years. And I'm not saying blaming the system itself entirely. Again, I'm just saying it is a thing that should be talked about and should be acknowledged.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I think, well, not end of the day, but I think the first thing we kind of need to clear the air with is airsoft guns, you know, because airsoft is a hobby, we kind of see it two ways. There's there's a hobby aspect, you know, like collecting the gear, collecting the guns, you know, cool guns that you like, you know, gearing them, dressing them up to make them look super cool, you know. And then you have like almost like you don't have to hold it like that, all right? There's
You gotta speak into it.
yeah,
That's why.
okay. There's also like the sport aspect of it where you're playing with other players. I wouldn't say necessarily it's a very competitive game, like at a casual feel. I mean, debatable, but you're competing against other players, obviously, you know, to see who gets shot first, right? So I guess in that sense, HPA it definitely, like, it's at that level of, on that side, I get the spectrum of airsoft equipment, where it's definitely very much on the, like, the sports equipment side, where it's trying to maximize as much performance as possible, to where, like, I guess a lot of HPA fanboys will kind of say that, you know, it kind of renders like your traditional AEG like obsolete.
No, I would agree to that. I would 100% agree to that. Like, HPA has definitely been created, I feel, more so out of a need to satisfy and build something that the more competitive side of Airsoft really wants, right? A lot of high-speed players, a lot of indoor players, Speed QB players and Speed Softers will gravitate towards the HPA system for a reason. It's a very reliable system. We all know that the system itself is built very... What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know. There's as even though everyone on the internet says like HPA is so reliable, like when I'm out on the field, I know the problems you guys have. I know.
I mean, to be fair, like again, like for most players, if they're like going with a pre-built system, they're not really trying to mix and match too much stuff. From what I hear, it's fine. But what's when the problems you get is when you start mixing and match stuff.
No, the majority of HPAs, it's all custom built stuff. At the end of the day, like very recently, we've had like companies like Wolverine actually make a full-fledged like gun and a system. But you still have to do like custom work to get it to fit into your gun. Like it's not always like a drop in, you're good to go kind of system. It's not.
True, but I would more so attribute that to the skill of the technician or whoever did the installation. If you have a tech that knows what they're doing, right, then that should be no problem whatsoever. However, if you're just barely trying to swim on by, trying to make sure that this shit works, right, and doing any means necessary to try to just keep it all together, then yeah, you might get some problems. But overall, I would say the system in and of itself is actually very well made. It's a very, very well thought out system and has a lot of performance potential.
Yeah, I mean, because you're getting rid of all the moving parts, right? Like with an AEG, you basically have it's a glorified RC car. It's a glorified RC car that takes advantage of like a piston system to basically force compressed air out. But with HPA, you have a computer chip in there regulating, and you have an air tank and a regulator, obviously, to give you a very specific amount of air, extremely consistent amount of air every shot, which is why HPA, it tends to outrange most AEGs because you have a lot of over voluming, obviously, and then with how consistent each like fart of air comes out of your regulator. Yes, it literally sounds like a quiet fart. It sounds like a quiet fart. Okay.
What Hollywood insists guns with suppressors sound
yes, like. Yes. Like naturally with how remarkably consistent it is, and with the over voluming effect, it is going to outrange AGs. If you don't know about over voluming or whatever, we did a video with Unicorn inner barrels with gas blowback rifles. I highly suggest you check that out. I do a whole TED talk on voluming.
You actually look like you're going through a schizophrenic like episode when you had the glasses on, you had the whiteboard in the background. I swear I'm not crazy. I'm looking at all the science here.
Crazy. I was crazy once.
They put me in a rubber room with rats. But I mean, that is one of the reasons why it's like once you have it installed, it is a very trusted, reliable system that again has such consistency, right? And the performance is there. That is one of the reasons why I would say on the coming from the sporting section, more competitive side of Airsoft, why I can see that maybe the demand for gas blowbacks might not be as high, at least not in terms of rifles, not in terms of GBBRs. You know what I mean? Because GBBRs, let's be real, there's a lot of systems out there. For every good system that exists out there, there's also some pretty bad ones. There's also pretty antiquated, some old systems that just really don't give you the performance that you're looking for. Hell, Bossman and I were talking during last night's stream. There are some with the Double Eagle gas blowback rifles that they make, the Double Eagle ones. It's not uncommon for them to, after just one, even like halfway through one magazine, for them to actually start getting some issues, for them to start just breaking down.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not made to be gas blowback rifles that you're supposed to keep as is. It's a placeholder for you to drop in all your aftermarket parts. Okay, so two different things. But as far as is HPA ruining Airsoft, I never saw it as that issue. I think it's more of the player behind it, obviously. So the way I see things now is like what each individual player in the hobby like gravitates towards. So for me, I never gotten the allure or gotten like convinced to run an HPA gun, because for me, like I just don't want to run a line. I don't want to worry about air, and I just don't want to like I just never thought it was cool. Yeah, the performance is there. Like I'll give it that. Sure. The performance is definitely there, but I just never. For me, like I'd rather get like, let's say like a gas blowback rifle. It's more fun to shoot, So for me, like when I'm out on the field, like I don't care about how many kills I get. I just want to run my gun. I just want to shoot it at somebody. I want to get shot back at. And then I call it a day there. But what I noticed with a lot of HPA players that they're way more competitive than me in that sense. Like for like when you think about an HPA user, like what's the first thing that comes to mind?
For me, it's usually some sort of like speed soft player, maybe some type of like indoor arena regular. That's usually the first thing that comes to mind, or just someone that's just overall really competitive.
Yeah, so like I mean, yeah, like I guess the stereotype is probably like a speed softer, someone that like is more, they enjoy the hobby of airsoft, that like because they enjoy the ability for them to like outrun, outshoot, stack a bunch of kills, and for them that aspect is fun, right? So like they don't want to spend the money on like a cool like plate carrier to like look cool, like they're not gonna like go out of the way to like buy like camo uniforms or anything like that. They're gonna run a good paintball mask, like a dye mask, very simple solution. They're gonna run around with like maybe a sweater, maybe a light chest rig nowadays, right? And then they're gonna run their HPA gun, and they're gonna be faster, and they're gonna dedicate most of the time just to see how many kills that they can get. So it's a different side of the hobby. So I think in that sense, like I'm definitely on the opposite end of the spectrum, and I think there's a lot of friction in the hobby because you have a group of people at your field that like want to be like, hey, like I have this cool gun, I think it looks cool, it might not shoot the best, but like I just want to run this gun, so you have those guys playing mixed in with people that are like, okay, I have my super nice tuned up HPA gun, and I'm just gonna like get as many kills as possible. So yeah, I think I like for a guy that just wants to like look cool, feel cool, and just run their like not optimized gun, like him getting killed a bunch of times by an HPA guy with like very little effort, it can definitely be very frustrating.
I can understand the frustration on both sides. Is from one side you have the guy that's constantly just getting dunked on, for lack of a better term, right? He's just getting slammed at this point because his gun is definitely not, like you said, optimized. Is a good word. It's not optimized for the competition, right? So of course he's gonna get upset and be like, hey, this constantly keeps happening to me. Like this seems kind of like unfair. But on the other side, at the end of the day, the player is not really going in with malicious intent. He's going in because, hey, this is fun for him. He likes the competitive nature of airsoft, being able to outrun, outgun, outshoot, enemy players. That's what makes it fun. I get that. I do understand that to an extent, right? So for him, having people constantly complain to him like, oh, you're overshooting me, or oh, your gun's cheating, and just having this stigma against him just because of the system that he's using is frustrating for both sides. I will have to admit that it is something that both sides have to kind of like contend with.
Yeah, and then just to respond to this one person in the comment in the chat, God of the Sea says it's always the player. No, not that one. Is it kind of buried? He replied to something. Okay. HP is good for people with no skill, and it's easy to shoot. Yeah, I think that's a very common argument. I think, like, again, example of the friction between the player with the AEG that's like more into airsoft for the vibe rather than like trying to get like as much like kills as possible, right? Yeah, like I think that was a common argument. It's like saying, oh yeah, like it takes no skill because the gun is so good. It's like, well, maybe, but also like in my experience, like when I really observed those HPA players play, they play so differently compared to me. They play so differently. For them, like they'll be way more aggressive. Like for them, like I call it like the suicide run. Like the kamikaze run. So I don't know if I was allowed to say that on the live stream. The sewer slide run. Where they're like bum rushing it, trying to get like the best position in the map as possible, as fast as possible, right? Like unload a ton of BBs, try to get as many kills as possible, and then if they get shot at the end of the day, they don't care, they'll run back, respawn, and like they'll try to gain that upper hand, and they're running like as many like mags as possible because they don't want to reload. Reloading is like it takes too much time. So that's kind of what I observed. And for me, like I enjoy running low capacity magazines. Like I'll run 60 round magazines. In my 120 round magazines, I'll load less than 100 rounds because I think reloading is fun. It's good practice for me anyway, So for me, like I noticed that the playstyle even is different. And so I think it's like the way we see it is like, for me, like I see skill as like, oh, like, do you know how to use like cover and concealment well? Like, are you able to pie the door efficiently? Like, how's your move footwork? You know, like how are your reload skills? It's a different skill set compared to what a lot of these HPA users tend to gravitate, the playstyle that they tend to gravitate towards. You know, it's a different skill set.
Shout out to all my mill speed boys that run out with HPA guns, but also go with like the Gucci gear too. Y'all are the coolest hybrids I ever seen. But no, I do get that. It's a different skill set for what we're going in, because again, we are milsim players at the end of this. We gravitate more towards the milsim scene, at least, right? Both you and I, right? We do a lot of milsim West events, and I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that do milsim events out there as well. But the things that we look for and what we identify as skill sets, right, that are useful, just don't carry over to a more competitive scene like that, right? That's actually one of the reasons why a lot of law enforcement agencies will try not to over rely on airsoft, because again, it's kind of viewed as a game, right? So it's as a toy, so it kind of gets rid of a lot of that fear, right? You know, remember we were talking this whole discussion about that?
Well, I mean, I think that might be a factor. I mean, there's a lot of things at play. Like, I don't want to touch too much on that side,
of
like
course.
as to why they wouldn't want to use airsoft. Like, I've talked to a lot of department heads at law enforcement agencies. Like I've helped KWA, like, you know, do some of these like shows where they are trying to, you know, push airsoft into the training sphere. In fact, that's actually where a lot of their income comes from.
They should be.
They should be. But yeah, I mean with airsoft, I think for a lot of people, like, they get into airsoft because of the immersion and the realism. And so for me, like, I want to run an airsoft gun as close to the real thing as possible, you know, because for me that's fun for me. You know, like I don't want to be super cringe and be like, oh, like it helps with training or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm gonna be running a California compliant, you know, gun, so like it's pretty neutered. But I mean, yeah, but they do translate. They do translate into each other. So for me, like, that's fun for me. You know, that's why I got into airsoft. And I think a lot of people that get into airsoft, like, yeah, it's because you want to play Call of Duty in real life at the end of the day. And so for me, I've never enjoyed running HPA. Like, I've used them before. I've never owned one, but yeah, like I've used friends like HPA guns before in game. Like, yeah, like they shoot well. Like, it's cool, but for me, like, it's never been as fun for me because, like, I get so little feedback. I get so, you know, the gun just becomes a little fart machine, you know.
We've had this discussion before that, like, even not like HPA, even just going with a regular AEG, because there's no real, unless you're running like an ERG or maybe even an EBB, right? At the end of the day, the airsoft gun, the way it's designed, just the regular standard AEG, because of how fast that it can shoot, especially when you plug in the right battery, and if you have it like pre-upgraded as well internally. I'm not even talking about HPA. The way that the gun is set up, you're basically walking around with like a miniature A10 at the end of the day. You got an A10 Warthog in your arms.
Yeah, exactly. So, I personally think that like fields regulating like what kind of weapons and like how to use weapons, like, to me, I think it's a good thing because it's more fun. You know, like, because you get creative and you learn to enjoy the game at a deeper level when there are constraints. So, for example, like, I'm not a huge like NASCAR fan.
But I know what you're about to say.
Yeah,
right?
NASCAR or like Formula One racing fan. Like, I'm a casual enjoyer here and there. But one thing I know for sure in both of those racing sports is that they have a lot of restrictions on what you can put in your car.
Even NASCAR has like openly admitted that, like, yeah, if they wanted to, they could very easily make the cars go even faster.
Oh no, 100%. Yeah. So they have horsepower and torque limits, and they have a ton of different restrictions on what you can and cannot do. And so even with Formula One for a while, I think like during like the early to mid 2010s, there was a lot of electronics inside the Formula One cars. And so, yeah, the cars cornered and were like super well controlled. But eventually people were like, yo, like, I'm just watching race cars like drive on train tracks, you know, like they're just like railroading themselves. And so, because the technology was so good, and so F1 had to like really limit what kind of technology can go in the car. And so now it becomes more of a skill of the driver. So in that sense, right, like with airsoft, I think it will be more fun to restrict, or like, I guess, lean towards the realism side of it. Like, hey, like if I'm running, let's say like hypothetically a 30-round magazine in an M4 or an M16, like I'm not gonna full auto dump all the time, you know. Like, it would be good to restrict to semi-auto only for assault rifles, you know, and then for actual machine guns, like something with like a built-in bipod that like weighs a lot, you know. Yeah, it's heavier, but it's heavier because it can fire a lot more ammo. It can fire a lot more rounds downrange. So yeah, those guys can go full auto, you know, like stuff like that. I think is way more fun. And so I think like when I go to airsoft fields like that, to have like those class restrictions, I think a lot of people generally tend to have a better time.
No, I would 100% agree to that. I mean, we don't even have to really dig far for personal experience. Wildlands itself, right, is one of the fields that I really love the rule set when it comes to categorizing and having different set of rules for every single, not class, but different platform that you're going to be running. If you're running just a standard AR, M4, just assault rifle, right? If you're running a rifle, yeah, you're going to be going at like 400 FPS max, right? No ammo restrictions or anything, which I think, you know, might be interesting to see ammo restrictions on count. But if you're going with an LMG, you're allowed to do burst fire. It has to be like 1 second a burst at most, right? Because again, some of the builds that I've seen are crazy. Yeah. But for DMRs and sniper rifles, you're limited to 500 FPS, which is awesome. But you also now have another limitation of you have to shoot within, or you have a 100-foot minimum engagement distance. Anything more than that, you have to bust out the sidearm. I actually do have more of a good time when there is those sort of like rules in place. And for HPA, this is where it kind of gets dicey though. For HPA players, if you bring an HPA gun to Wildlands, you're restricted to, I believe it was 360 FPS. Yeah, I believe you're restricted to 360 FPS. What are your thoughts on that in terms of like for HPA exclusively?
Well, I'm kind of ambivalent. Like I don't really have a horse in the race when it comes to that. I just think I probably think that those regulations come into effect because they understand player habits, like players that run HPA primarily. I think fields are catching on to like, okay, like these are their player habits, right? So one thing I noticed in a lot of HPA users, they use very heavy BBs because they can take advantage of the over voluming effect, right? So those BBs carry a lot more energy, even though they are still, let's say like you have a 400 FPS Polar Star or Wolverine MTW, right? And you're running like 0.36 gram BBs, because that way it'll just be a laser beam at like 300 feet. That's cool, but when it hits a player, it hurts a lot. Yeah. And especially like if you hit with that even closer in, like it's not fun. It's just not. I would say it's not courteous behavior. Like I don't play airsoft to hurt somebody. I go there. Yeah. Pain is like the necessary evil, I guess, of the game, but. Like for me personally, like when I play, like I want to minimize that as much as possible, just because I want everyone to have a good time. And so I think fields will restrict like FPS because they understand, okay, well, like these players are going to be running like super heavy BBs anyway. Like even at 360 at much of a greater distance, like players are still going to feel it.
No, absolutely. I mean, again, like pain is a necessary evil when it comes to. I mean, how else are we realistically going to be able to know that? Like, oh, we feel it, right? We feel the little bit of a sting. But yeah, I'm not in this either to go. As much as I love running my LMGs and like my DMRs, I'm not in this to give someone a bad time or hurt someone. That's how you get people out of the hobby, because they keep coming to the field and they're like, man, I just keep getting hurt. At this point, it's not fun. I don't want to keep playing this, right? They're gonna end up leaving. So it's another thing to keep in mind as well for any type of player, no matter, even if you're using HPA, AEG, gas blowback, doesn't matter. Make sure to go ahead and treat your fellow players with enough courtesy and decency. And guys, before we go ahead and continue, I just want to let you all know that again, we are a little bit past the halfway point right now. To make sure to take advantage, every $50 you spend will be getting you 5 entries in the shopping spree giveaway going down tonight for $3,600. Literally place your orders for anything. All it takes is a $20 order, and you have a shot at winning the big prize. However, take advantage of the promotions now while you can, because in about 28 minutes, we're going to be ending the stream. So take advantage now while you guys can. All right. But that was another thing that I wanted to go ahead and actually talk about was, restrictions on HPA as well. With the restrictions on HPA, do you think that we're leaning more towards, or at that point, do you think airsoft is more considered a sport more than a hobby at that point, on the fields anyway?
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends. I think it really depends on the crowd of people that you draw in. So, for example, like at our local field, the field that we frequent, Wildlands Airsoft, the vast majority of those players are not, I guess you would say, like as kill-centric or like as competitive as some of the other, as the other players. So like, there a lot of the players that go there, like they're not more milsim, but like they respect like the immersive nature of airsoft a bit more, I guess you would say. Like they're more focused on that, and so they like them not having as many I feel like that not having as many restrictions I can understand, because most players like they don't try to game the system to begin with. But let's say we go to like a more like competitive field, for example like Tac City. That's where a lot of competitive airsoft players or teams, like they're born and bred from Tac City, and I respect that, but it's a different crowd, that's why I don't play there. It's because for like I would not make a good fit for that field. But all those players, yeah, of course they're gonna want to push the limits of their gun and see like how well they can get their gun to perform, and see like how many kills that they can get in a game, stuff like that. Like the crowd is more centered around that. So I think a field like Tac City, let's say, like having more restrictions in place to keep the environment more competitive, I think would be more appropriate.
Okay, so you're not necessarily opposed then to just having in general, right? Like even for indoor fields, because for me, you kind of hit a point when we were talking about like NASCAR and F1. Technology is moving at such an incredible rate. It's always evolving. Even in airsoft, we are noticing that there is more and more advancements in technology for the airsoft gun itself, specifically for like gas blowbacks and HPA. Do you think that HPA is going to get to a point where it is almost like you use this and it's almost like cheating? I don't want to say cheating, but like it's too good. Do you think it's going to get to that point, or do you think we're at that point right now?
Well, I think if the innovation of airsoft as technology gets way better than it is now, which I don't really see that happening
For HPA specifically.
HPA, I mean, again, I think it really depends on the prevalence, right? Like for example, like let's say like I have this like mystery HPA gun that's like they could beam people like 500 feet away or something.
Yeah, if it gets to that point.
Like something crazy like that. And if I'm the only one who has it, like I don't think it will warrant like field-wide restrictions just for me. But let's say like if like let's say like Polar Star, let's just say like next month comes out with some crazy new thing where you could laser beam someone like 500 feet away, no problem, consistently, then maybe at that point, like we might have to, in order to keep the environment more like fair for everyone else, to give everyone else a chance to enjoy the hobby of airsoft. Yeah, like I wouldn't see having restrictions on that like as unreasonable.
Okay, no, it's good to see. And speaking of advancements actually in technology, one of the things that we wanted to touch base on too was also just gas blowbacks as a platform, because I know you're a big gas man. I know you're
a gas man.
You are hella gassy.
No. I have gas guns. I drive a gas car, and I have a gas stove. I am a gas man through and through. Propane and propane accessories, baby. But yeah, I am a very big gas man, and personally for me, I think I think the gas blowback world is definitely an area that I think the industry is kind of scared to innovate, just because the market share just really isn't there. Like how many players, actually I want to ask you guys, how many players in your circle do you know that primary a gas blowback rifle? And I will guarantee you most of you guys can probably count them on one hand. Like even for me, like I know a lot of different airsoft like players in our area. Like we see a lot, coming in and out of GI and on the local fields and even at BB Wars. Yeah, like I don't really see a lot of people primarying a gas blowback rifle.
No,
the market share just isn't there.
I would attest to that as well. That there's like majority of like the regular player base, especially when it comes to a more casual scene, are definitely going to be going out with more just AEGs. And again, that can be due to also cost of entry as well. You don't see like AEG magazines costing $50 to $70.
Correct. And Moises, just to answer your question, yes, there are CO2 gas blowback rifles. WE makes CO2 magazines as well as GHK. Just real quick, but yeah, I just think that an industry standpoint, innovation standpoint, I think gas blowback rifles in general have the most room to grow innovation-wise. Personally, for me, I know some people might disagree with me, but personally for me, I think AEGs we're kind of topping out. Like we're reaching the limitations of the platform. HPA, I think HPA as well. Like because HPA is a very simple system, and it is all controlled by the fire control unit, and like I don't really realistically see any company coming out with, oh yeah, like this thing can fire like 1,000 rounds a second. Like there's no need for that, I think, in airsoft. So I think we're kind of like edging out on HPA technology as well. But for gas blowback rifles, I think there's not a lot of innovation like in general. So I'm pretty excited because Tokyo Marui has the MWS system, which compared to other gas blowback rifle systems out there is still new. And we're seeing a lot of aftermarket companies coming in, making a lot of aftermarket things for it to increase the performance.
No, absolutely. Like Unicorn has already made the announcement that they're going to be innovating not just for Tokyo Marui components, because we already have actually several of their parts already listed on our site, but also for G&G. And G&G, I want to applaud them as well for introducing a new gas blowback system out there on the market as well. Again, even though that we aren't seeing as much in terms of like many companies coming out with their own versions of a gas rifle, we are still seeing companies come out with them. And I got to be honest, the standard for the gas rifle, GBRs, has gotten a lot higher. It has gotten significantly higher, and that actually makes me very happy to see, because I'll be honest, I'm kind of on the same boat as you, but when it comes to AEGs, we've kind of reached a point where it's stagnated, where it's like you can only do so much to the OG TM system before you go ahead and like, all right, you got to start changing stuff. I mean, look at KWA, for example, right? We talked about the Q10 and the M10, right? They're not necessarily guns that you're designed to tinker around with. They're fantastic out of the box, but that comes at a bit of a cost as well, right? It's surpassing the limitations of what an airsoft gun can do, but at a price point, and that price is being, compatibility, sacrificing a bit of the TM compatibility, and I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah, and then like things like, because I know some people might say like, oh yeah, well so and so's coming out with a brushless motor, or so and so is coming out with this and that and that. Like, yeah, like that's great, but I think in the long run of things, you're only gonna really squeeze out just a little bit of extra performance out of that. Like, it's not gonna completely change the landscape of an AEG, because again, there are limitations as to the gearbox system as a whole. But gas blowback, just to answer your question, Rilo, is that how you say it? Yeah. How do gas blowback rifles work in cold weather conditions? Well, you can get it to work. It depends how. What do you mean by cold? Like I ran gas blowback rifles in 30-degree weather. You just can't rapid fire it.
That's the thing, because we actually have a lot of viewers who are also from the East Coast as well, where it gets like below 30, especially right now. Right now, there's some places that it's like 20-something degrees.
Yeah, but I mean, even at that like weather condition, you're gonna have a hard time running an AEG as well. Like the batteries like don't really work that well in cold weather either. But just to talk more about gas blowback rifles, I think one thing that some people don't realize, or a lot of players don't realize, is that gas blowback rifles actually, just by nature, you can get the same range and accuracy out of a gas blowback rifle compared to an HPA gun.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah, it's just I guess the people tend not to see it that way, because with an HPA gun, because your air tank holds so much more air pressure out of it, like you could spam the hell out of it. You could like rapid fire like 50, 60, 70 shots down range and get consistent accurate results. But you try to do the same thing with the gas blowback rifle, because of the cooldown effect and whatnot. Of course, like you're not going to get as consistent of a result, but if you are wise with how you shoot your gas blowback rifle, you could still reach out and touch people from really far away because of the over voluming effect, because you're pulling from a gas reservoir, just like the HPA. The HPA is a gas that's compressed in a tank. You're pulling from that reservoir. Because of that, and also the pressure is higher compared to your piston generating compressed air out of your gearbox, you are gonna get significant more energy output, so you can run heavier BBs, and with heavier BBs you get more momentum, and the momentum will give you more range.
Again, it's all circumstantial, but there are ways to getting around it. I've seen plenty of people, even when we've played like some of the more extreme condition for Milsim West, there were still some guys that were rocking GBs, and it makes sense, right? A more immersive experience. But I think, going back to what we were talking about, yes, I would have to agree that the ceiling hasn't really been reached yet. We haven't really capped off and really discovered everything that there is to know realistically about the GBR. There's still a lot that we don't know about. Even like as us, like we can't really explain all the ins and outs, at least not I can't, about, jewel creeping, for example, right? Something that's like gas blowbacks are known for. Even in your video, right, when you were talking about, gas blowbacks, right, when they ask you, jewel creep, which is, you quote you, is like cheating, but legal cheating. I don't really know how it works, but it's cool, right?
Well, jewel creeping is just, at the end of the day, it's just over voluming. So because you have a higher pressure and like the gas itself is not fully expanded in the barrel, right? Like you get more energy out of it. I guess that's like a very layman's term of explain. So that's why I call it over voluming instead of jewel creeping. So at the end of the day, like that's why HPA guns shoot so far. Is because of how high the air pressure is coming out of that reservoir. It's translating a lot of force into energy into that BB, right? And so if the air already expanded out already, like through the barrel, like if it had all that time to do that inside the barrel, you lose energy. Which is why we also say with airsoft, with AEGs, like you don't have to go so long of an inner barrel, right? So sometimes if you have too long an inner barrel, you actually lose performance. Yeah, you get diminishing returns, right? It's because of the voluming effect, the volume of air. So gas blowbacks still share that same principle. I take advantage of that same principle, which is why now I run sniper BBs in my gas blowbacks.
I could see that.
Yeah. I run sniper BBs, a unicorn inner barrel, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I have the unicorn 80-degree bucking. So with the gas blower rifle, you want a very hard bucking. So it goes 70 or sometimes 80-degree bucking. And then you let the momentum of the BB carry you at distance.
No, I would 100% have to agree to that. And I think that is the way to do it, especially when you have that type of setup. You have to go with the heavier weight BBs, and again, the stiffer bucking for sure. I mean, and that's why Unicorn is coming out with more stuff specifically for the MGCR. And again, they're going to continue manufacturing for MWS as well, which I do believe the MGCR has so much potential. But again, it does need that support from Unicorn, in my opinions, to be like really like the TM killer. But guys, we got like 8 minutes left before the end of the stream, so make sure to take advantage of the promotion going on. Remember, every $50 spent per order, you'll be receiving 5 entries in the shopping spree giveaway. So think multiples of 50, you're getting 5 per. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so shoot your shot now while you guys can during the remaining 8 minutes of the stream, because once that's up, that's going to be the end of the stream, and that's going to be the end of the promotions. You're going to have to wait till tonight's shopping spree giveaway. And remember, $3,600 are on the line, so don't miss out. And to answer a question Gnarls was asking, I don't know if you saw this one, what do the ASGI Milsmiths think about the new tax off changes? I mostly like them being a militia player. I have to, because he's actually going to be going to the one in February as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
He's going to be going militia with us too. So Gnarls, I would have to agree as well. I actually do like the changes. I like that they're kind of hammering down on what is, and actually giving a definitive example of what a militia player should look like. Because I have seen, I saw the post too. I've seen too many guys rolling around in like super high speed gear, right, and like civic clothes, just trying to be like, yeah, I'm militia. And I'm like, all right, dog, but like, come on.
No. The excuse is I take from American.
Yeah,
I take from American. He was already dead. I took the equipment from American. It's American equipment.
Like, I didn't mind the fact that the platform itself was something that was a NATO-based gun. I actually didn't mind that. It was more so when it was like, all right, dude, like, I see all the gear you're using. It literally said in the tax op beforehand, think surplus equipment, no high speed. I was like, yeah, that's the whole point. Like, so I love the fact that they included pictures as well, so you can see exactly what they're talking about. And all those pictures are a vibe, man. Who says that you can't make surplus gear look cool?
Yeah, I mean, surplus gear is coming back. I think the militia vibe is definitely making a comeback.
I actually liked your militia kit too.
Oh yeah. The ACU, yeah, because I was like, I take from American. Yeah, American left. I take American.
Back in 2005.
Yeah. So, and then let's see here. I believe I was looking at someone else's question here. Okay, not a question, but just to respond to a comment. Evan Boone says, my old field used to have a huge problem where people would chrono, then on the field they would tune their gun up, but when called out, the refs would only reference the chrono tag. Yeah, I mean that sucks. Like it's really hard to regulate something like that unless you ban HPA altogether, which some fields do. So some fields do. I don't necessarily have a horse in the race, but yeah, it does really suck when players have that kind of malicious intent. At the end of the day, the field they have to enforce a chrono rule because it's a legal liability. Because at any point, at the airsoft field, you could actually call the police, and you could charge another player with assault. It's a legal liability. So because of that, like that's why the Chrono rules are in effect. Yeah, and then Hail Outdoors asks, should I get the PXG9 Classic Army with the drum mag for my field? It's CQB. Oh, heck yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you're trying to go for like CQB and try to be a little more competitive, yeah, like the idea of a drum mag just completely diminishes any need for you to go ahead and reload, right? It just gets rid of it altogether. So you have just a nice big, mag heavy drum, right, that you can just keep using over and over and over again. You don't have to waste time reloading. And the PXG9 is a dope, PCC. I would always recommend it every single time.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not a huge fan of drum mags just because I think reloading is fun. It's part of the hobby for me. But if you want to mitigate any downtime behind the trigger while you're out there on the field, get the drummy. The PXG9 is one of the most solid, like, budget friendly pistol caliber carbine SMG AR style guns you can get on the market. Like, it is to this day, I think, like, if people ask me for recommendations, like, oh, I want to get an SMG and whatever, and then here's my budget, and it's like sub $300, that's like the first thing I recommend, especially with the ECS ETU in there. Solid.
Gotta see. My field banned Polar Stars because too many dudes abuse it and cheat. It is unfortunate to see that was a system that gave a lot of people a lot of power, right? A lot of control. I would say that's the best term. Is it gave the player a lot of control in their airsoft gun and its performance output. But it was just really sad to see how many people just really gave it a bad name, to the point where now, again, we're seeing it in the chat right now. We're seeing this live happen right in front of us, that the perception that it has generated is just, I would say, mostly negative. I don't know, from the most casual standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable because, again, the demographic, the people that gravitate towards the HPA, they tend to be very performance oriented. So yeah, the temptation is real. I would not blame an HPA player that, like, all they want to do is just shoot laser beams across the field and just get as many kills as possible. To want to have as much of an edge as possible on the field. Like, I don't blame them. Like, I personally don't do that. Like, I don't find that aspect of the game very fun, but if it is for them, I don't blame them. So yeah, I can definitely understand why the stigma would exist. It is sad to see that a lot of players do fall for that temptation to do that. But I wonder, though, because I don't really keep up with too much of the HPA news on the side of Airsoft. I wonder if any manufacturer like Polar Star or Wolverine or whoever, I wonder if they'll ever come out with a fixed HPA system where, like, this will shoot 360 FPS always, or like this will you cannot adjust the FPS on this. You cannot. Or like it'll come with some kind of regulator to be like, it will always shoot like 1.5 joules or like 1.2 joules or something. This will always shoot that, so that way, like, players will not have the opportunity to, like, change it up, after Chrono.
Richard Delia was saying, thank God I caught this live. What's going on, dude? Good to have you. I've been running GBBR for 5-6 years and am getting an MTW for the winter months, but I won't lie, the realism of GBB is so much fun. Cheers, lad, for the great content. Thanks, man. Always appreciate that. And yeah, I would have to agree to that. I think that's probably the move, maybe for the winter, just so that you don't have to worry about, have the circumstances. Just have like an MTW or any sort of HPA gun for the winter season, but once it starts warming up, that's gas blowback weather, baby. That's gas blowback weather.
Or I mean, also, I don't know how cold your winter gets, but even for me in California, it does get pretty cold. I don't know. You guys would be like, it's not cold. It's not cold.
There was one guy
you're not negative 100 degrees. It's not cold. So yeah. I wish I had 20-degree weather. I'd like negative 1,000. Yeah. So so for me, like, cold for me is like anywhere below 50. I could still run it, but yeah, I can totally understand having another gun, when you can't run GBB. Just to answer, Winter's Ash says, I thought most regulators come with turning locks. He said, yeah, but turning locks can be disabled. So that's what I was saying. You just get a fixed unit, a fixed regulator.
True saying, Bowas, players will modify it. Yeah, he's probably commenting on that.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm saying, like, as an option, so that way fields would be like, we allow you to bring HPA if it's this. If it's this model or that model. I don't know. So something like that. Just spitballing ideas here. Let's see. Oh, Airsoft info. The MGC4 Mark II is awesome. Wouldn't bother coming out with a third unless it's CQB. Yes, he knows. I was pushing for a Rattler. I was pushing for like a Rattler design MGC4 Mark III. MGC4 Stealth.
That's the thing. Like, again, things with that picture that we put out. I'm sure you guys have seen the video, the short that we put out as well, showing off what the potential Mark III would look like. Again, like I said in the video, things are likely to change, so it could end up being shorter.
Yes. And then, let's see. Christopher Bailey asked, can an MGC4 Mark II handle an M130 spring? Well, in theory, yes. Will it run well? No.
It is optimized for the spring.
Yeah. So, most well-built gearboxes, you could throw in like an M150 spring if you wanted to, but like the gun will barely run.
And 150, I would say like I wouldn't even do that.
Yeah. I'd say I don't know what the intent is behind putting an M130 spring in there. It's shooting. It's already shooting at 400 FPS out of the box. So you might. Yeah, like I'd say just leave it alone, man. Because once you start tinkering with any airsoft gun, the moment you open up the gearbox and you replace a certain part in it with an aftermarket part, in my opinion, it just becomes a ticking time bomb. Eventually, something else. It's like one upgrade part will stress out the other parts in the gearbox, and that's gonna break, and the other place that, and then it just becomes a cascade of issues. So leave it alone.
No, I 100% agree with that, guys. It is now 5 o'clock. That means that the promotions that we had going on right now are now over. That means that it is done, and that's it. But that doesn't mean that it's entirely over for you guys to get extra entries into tonight's $3,600 shopping spree giveaway. The best way to go and increase your odds would be to place your orders right now for a 2024 Platinum Mystery Box. Again, you'll be getting 15 entries, 15 chances of winning $3,600 all for yourself. Not only that, remember, every $20 or greater order that you spend gets you an entry, and everyone has a shot, but you got to make sure that you get your orders in before the deadline. The shopping spree giveaway live stream, I'm going to be doing that later on today. It's going to be starting at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The deadline to be entered is at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and at 8:45, I'll be making the announcement as to who the winner is. You'll have 10 minutes to show up in the live chat. Otherwise, you won't get the prize, and it stacks again.
All right, and just to close out, just as a final little kiss goodbye. Mwah. All right, just to answer a couple of your last questions or comments. Mayhem Gaming, any recommended upgrades for Lancer Gen 2? Easy answer: Unicorn inner barrel and bucking, super cheap. You can get some as low as like $35 or something like that. Yeah, and that'll also qualify you for the live stream shopping spree giveaway. And you can easy mod to do. You can do it yourself. You don't need a tech to do it, and you'll instantly improve the performance of your gun. Airsoft Info says make the MGC4 Mark II or Mark III a honey badger. Yes, absolutely.
That
yes.
is what we're working on
yes,
again.
we're cooking. We're cooking. Let us cook. Let us cook. Yeah. And then gotta see. Might go to the store this weekend looking for a gas pistol. Hope to see you there, bro. Yeah. Happy to help you, man. But yeah. Alrighty. So. Hopefully, so you are doing the giveaway stream tonight, right?
Yes, the giveaway stream again is going to be happening tonight. If you guys want to see the rule set for yourself, go onto our site. On the banners itself, scroll through until you find the one that says shopping spree giveaway. Should be the third one that's actually listed on our site. If our website would load, there we go. Click on that and you'll see the entire rule set all for yourself. When to start watching the live stream, when everything's going down, what needs or what is required to be entered, and again, what are some do nots of the shopping spree giveaway live stream itself. So rules are there. I linked them all for you so you guys can go and see it for yourself. But it's happening tonight, so get your orders in.
Be there, be squared. Richard, I can't pronounce your last name. Do we ship to the UK? Yes, we ship globally, but we are not responsible if you try to order something illegal in your country. So check your laws.
Check and make sure you are following all your local laws regarding airsoft and importation. Guys, it has been absolutely real. Again, big shout out to everyone that joined in and tuned into this live stream. Absolutely appreciate all y'all. Make sure to go ahead and like this live stream. Share this around with everyone as much as possible.
And let us know. Let us know if you guys like this format where we talk about something and we interact with you guys that way.
Yeah, more podcast style on these streams. But until that time, my name is Isaias.